This video almost didn't happen, because this painting almost didn't happen. It almost didn't happen because I struggle with insecurity as an artist. Believe it or not, a lot of times I feel like a fraud, and sometimes things are harder for me than I expect. This was one of those, and it was a big lesson for me in pushing through and doing something that's hard. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Oh, and hi! If you're new here, I'm Lissa Grace, and I'm on a journey of learning to find beauty and capture it in art. I'm so glad you're here. This painting was an assignment for an art class that I took my senior year of high school. And now it's the summer, and I really wanted to finish this sketchbook before I left for college. The artist we were learning about was Salvador Dali, and he was well known for his surrealism paintings. He was a master at taking ordinary objects and making them interesting and new, like painting a melting clock. A lot of the time in our other art classes, we would do master studies, where we would take an artist's most famous piece and recreate it. But for this assignment, we were supposed to create something original. The assignment seemed simple. Pick two things that you love and combine them in a surrealist way. So I thought, why not coffee and flowers? I love espresso and I love flowers, so let's put them together where the espresso maker is making flowers instead of coffee. Seems simple until you start trying to put it down on the page. Enter insecurity. So I sketched out this idea in class and thought, that's great, I'll get to that later. And that same phrase, I'll get to that later, led to a lot of different excuses, like, I don't have enough time right now, or something else is more important. And that led to a whole nother thing. That thing is called guilt. And let me tell you, guilt and insecurity are the quickest way to shut down your creative flow. I love the challenge of making the perfect cup of coffee. I love asking people questions to see what they like. Do you like it sweet or not sweet? Do you like hot or cold? Do you like flavors in it? I strive to make the experience you have with your cup of coffee worth savoring. To me, coffee is another art form. I just love finding the perfect ratio of the rich espresso to the creamy milk and making the perfect cup of coffee. Throughout my life, I have always loved to paint flowers, and so I was really excited to have these flowers play a main part in this painting. I mean, how fitting is it to paint flowers in my sketchbook that represents my senior year of high school? I had a vision for these flowers to be luscious and bursting forth with life, blooming, and just feel really happy. The problem I faced, though, was I got stuck in thinking that this was going to be easier than it was. Since I waited so long to do this piece, it's been a minute since I worked with acrylic. I've been using a lot of oils recently, but acrylic and oil are just very different. They don't blend the same way, and they don't mix the same way. They just aren't the same. I tried to just start painting the flowers without first sketching out a plan. But when I started, I realized I just didn't really like them. I didn't love my colors. I didn't love the placement. They just weren't flowing. And I knew for sure that I really didn't want to settle. I didn't want to look at this page and think I didn't do my best. Some people can just pick up a paintbrush and go without sketching, but that's not me. And I started to believe that if I couldn't do that, I was less of an artist. But that is not true. It even sounds silly when you say it out loud. And that insecurity was hindering my creative flow. So to move forward, I really needed to take a step back, paint over the flowers that weren't working, and try again. When it does come to the point of having to start over, remember, don't feel discouraged, because what you're doing is actually making a way for yourself to succeed and create something to the best of your abilities. Once I made the decision to paint over these, I felt freedom to create what I wanted to create. As I painted over these flowers, I chose to leave my insecurity and guilt behind, which made space for my creative flow to thrive. Once I had done this, the whole environment changed. I began to really love the process of this painting. The beginning and middle stages of a painting can feel so intimidating, but trust me, when you push through it and continue to make progress, doing your best, it will turn out. One thing I have noticed is that social media can make artists' processes seem really fast and really simple. But the reality is, art isn't easy and it isn't fast. Not to say that artists are trying to make their process look easy, but the short form nature of videos really make it seem that way sometimes. If we aren't careful to check our thoughts and emotions towards what we're creating, it can really cause big blocks of insecurity or guilt. And what I've learned from those feelings is they both block the creative flow and steal the joy from the process. If you ask me, a joy-filled experience sounds much better than an insecure and guilt-filled one. We all lose sight of the path sometimes, but what really matters is how you get back up and continue to move forward. If you're anything like me, comparison and competition can be a big challenge. When you're constantly comparing your artwork to others and striving to be the best, but falling short, it can be so discouraging. There are plenty of artists I know and love that are much better than me. But focusing on that really kills all the joy you have in creating and takes the time away you have from actually improving yourself. I love to paint, and I want that to be the main feeling that guides me. Not insecurity, not guilt, not competition, not comparison. Just the lovely joy of creating. So next time you feel bogged down by insecurity, or guilt, or competition, or comparison, just remember that you are a unique creator. And if you choose to let those feelings go, it makes space for the freedom to create and the joy of creating. If you've ever felt like this, you're not alone. I struggle with it, and I know a lot of other artists do too. But you can have freedom. After experiencing this freedom and having this mental and emotional reset, I decided day 3 it was time for a physical reset. So I decided to clean up my space, clean off my brushes, clean out my cup, pick up the trash, get it all clean and nice for a better environment to work in. I can work in a very messy way. I am the classic messy artist, but what I've learned about myself is that a clean space really does affect my mental space. So I've learned that even though I'm messy and it feels fun in the moment, cleaning up my space is a better choice for me. I got a clean cup of water, my paintbrushes were ready, my sketchbook was set up for me, and my paints were organized. I had Pinterest inspiration, and I was just about set. All that was left was my music that would inspire me to get into the creative flow. I picked my favorite playlist, put my earbuds in, and I was ready to paint. Now enjoy the rest of this highly satisfying and relaxing painting progress.